dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Madison Carmouche. The U.S. unleashed retaliatory airstrikes on Iranian-backed targets in Iraq and Syria in response to a drone strike that killed 3 U.S. service members on Sunday. U.S. officials say the targets were based on clear evidence. They were connected to attacks based on U.S. personnel in the region, and the sites were carefully selected to avoid civilian casualties. CBS News correspondent Willie James Inman has more from Washington.
The U.S. military began an air assault on dozens of sites in Iraq and Syria Friday in retaliation for the drone strike that killed 3 U.S. troops in Jordan last weekend. Pentagon officials say 2 B-1 bombers were among the aircraft used to hit more than 85 targets. They included command and control centers, weapons depots, and drone storage facilities, all linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard and affiliated militia groups. Sources tell CBS News national security correspondent David Martin there is more to come.
Officials here say there will be at least one more day of strikes in Iraq and Syria, and there will also be another round of joint U.S. and British strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen.
In a statement, President Biden said the military action will continue at times and places of our choosing. The U.S. has avoided striking Iran directly, despite at least 165 attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria since the Israel-Hamas conflict began last October. Earlier Friday, the president and top military officials honored the 3 service members killed in Jordan as their bodies arrived on U.S. soil at Dover Air Force Base. Staff Sergeant William Rivers and Sergeants Kennedy Sanders and Breonna Moffett all received promotions. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Iran's president said Friday that his country, quote, will not start a war, but if a cruel force wants to bully us, the Islamic Republic of Iran will give a strong response. And we have an update on a case we have been following. A federal jury has found former Commonwealth's attorney Ronnie Goldie guilty on all counts. The Herald Leader reports a jury found Goldie guilty of doing favors for a woman facing charges in exchange for sexual pictures and videos. They deliberated for about 6.5 hours. The jury convicted Goldie on 6 counts of wire fraud, 6 charges related to furthering fraud, and 2 bribery charges. He is scheduled to be sentenced on May 24th.
We are tracking some cool and dry weather as we go into this evening. Up on the radar, a clean sweep as clouds continue to clear, and all thanks to a clear sky. Those temperatures are chilly as you wake up in the morning. Most of us wake up close to or below freezing in the upper 20s and lower 30s. So a cool start to the weekend, but we are tracking some fantastic weather as we go into the first weekend of February. Let's time this out on Future View and notice as we wake up, we are chilly in the upper 20s and lower 30s, but check out this rebound. Once again, we are dry tomorrow under plenty of blue sky and sunshine. Those temperatures also top out in the middle to lower 50s. So once again, we are above average to start the weekend, and that dry weather also continues as we go into tomorrow evening. Once again, lows are cool as you wake up on Sunday in the middle to lower 30s. And once again, some more mild weather is on the way by Sunday as we stay dry under some sunshine. Temperatures top out in the upper 50s and possibly a few lower 60s. So if you have plans to hit the golf course to start the weekend, the forecast could not be better tomorrow. We stay dry under plenty of blue sky and sunshine. Those temperatures top out in the middle 50s. If you like the mild weather, more mild weather is on the way by Sunday. Also into early next week, we should be in the middle 40s. We top out in the lower 50s on Monday, Tuesday, back in the middle to upper 50s by Wednesday. Here is a look at your Community Trust Bank 7-day forecast where the weekend is always in view. And check out this stretch of dry and mild weather across the region. Middle 50s tomorrow, back in the upper 50s on Sunday, and some more lower 50s by Monday and Tuesday. As we stay dry, also mainly sunny, and some middle to upper 50s by Wednesday and into your Thursday. We are watching out for that moisture to increase by Thursday evening, also by Friday, so a few more showers are possible as we go into this time next week. Madison?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Attorney General Russell Coleman announced a $350 million multi-state settlement with the Publicis Health and Opioid Settlement Funds today. According to the settlement, Publicis helped companies like Purdue Pharma promote deadly drugs and profit off Kentuckians' addiction. Kentucky will receive $6 million to help families and communities. To date, Kentucky has secured approximately $900 million in settlement funds from the companies that pushed pills onto Kentuckians. Governor Andy Beshear made several appearances around the Commonwealth, including the Natural Bridge State Resort Park, celebrating 100 years of Kentucky state parks. Beshear says it is a reminder of how far the parks have come and how he wants to continue investing in them. He says state parks are great for industry, tourism, and overall quality of life.
And to make those really special memories that you hold on to, everyone has one of those stories from our state parks. You know, there's trying to bring in more jobs and increase opportunity, but there's also that amazing quality of life that each of these parks adds on to, improves to. And for my family, it's everywhere from here in the east to Kentucky Lake in the west that have been a big part of who we are.
Beshear says he hopes they are able to help further invest into state parks. Kentucky Auditor Allison Ball released a scathing audit this week showing how juveniles are being treated in Kentucky detention centers. It found reported physical, sexual, and mental abuse at 8 of the state's juvenile facilities. The report describes extreme use of force, cruel isolation, extreme forms of discipline, and a lack of oversight and leadership. Ball said she was aware of the issues, but the depth of the audit has highlighted the urgent need for a complete overhaul. Governor Beshear has questioned the results.
Yeah, I think that there probably were civil rights, and we leave that to the attorneys who are prosecuting those cases. But there are widespread problems, and we've known about this for a long time. Not only is there a legal problem, but you are damaging someone's entire life.
The audit was commissioned by the General Assembly last August after reports started bubbling up. Yesterday was the last day on the job for the Secretary of the Justice Cabinet, Kerry Harvey. The department is also now looking for a new director of juvenile services after Vicki Reed resigned right after the election. 2 Laurel County parents are facing charges. Police say Jamie Setzer and Derek Feltner exposed a young child to dangerous drugs. They are charged with criminal abuse. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says they exposed their 4-year-old daughter to meth. The Sheriff's Office says they were notified by social services. They say exposure can be damaging regardless of age.
An exposure of anyone, including a child, can cause permanent respiratory issues in the future. It can also cause behavioral changes that are permanent.
Police have not detailed the level of exposure, but say it was discovered in time to prevent any permanent damage to the young girl. She is now with other relatives. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Nate Johnson and Armando Berry will have some high school hoops highlights and scores from across the mountains, plus a preview of Kentucky's Tennessee matchup. All that and more is coming your way on ARH Sports Overtime after this break.